You committed May 4th.
Mm-hmm.
Who were your top offers when you committed?
I think my top, pretty much Texas A&M, Oklahoma. I think Oklahoma State were pretty much my top three.
Okay. So why Oklahoma?
I mean, I think all the factors depending on it, like talking to Coach Odom and pretty much the whole defensive staff, it really kind of set themselves apart compared to other schools. It was just kind of like a no-brainer myself, and especially after that virtual visit, kind of just was like I took other ones and I was like, this just blow everything away. And I didn't really want to wait, and I knew COVID would pick up and it was going to delay a ton of my unofficials, so I just kind of didn't really want to wait.
I think you were the first to commit during the pandemic.
Really?
At
I didn't know that.
At Oklahoma. Yeah. So that was a unique situation and a unique vision. When they presented the virtual visit to you, what stood out and why, when you left and compared it to the other schools and said, this is the one I want. How did that all shake out?
I mean, they took everything, like the extra mile. I mean, I was talking to the president of the school, athletic directors. I mean, they got cars in the stadium, personal shots. Like, that it wasn't just one video they made and sent out to all the recruits. It was definitely video specialized for Danny Stutsman.
Wow. What were you looking for in a school? When you think about college and you think about 4 years and you think about a degree and a career and that kind of thing, what were you looking for?
I mean, really, it's all about coaching staff because that's who you're with for all 4 years. So I wanted to have a staff that I knew was going to be there for all 4 years, and I think Coach Lincoln and is going to be there all 4 years, and he's going to bring that staff, keeping it with. They're going to build something great and have a chance to compete for a state national championship.
All right, let's talk real stuff here. Sooner Summit. How did this come about? Tell me about your role in it and your participation with Caleb and making sure, hey, man, don't forget about me, or whatever the interaction was.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb reached out to just some of the recruits. He kind of sent our Snapchat group chat, and I texted him after. I was like, let me get more information. I mean, I haven't seen the school yet, and so I had to come out here. I mean, and once I found all the information, I told my dad, and he didn't even ask anything. He said, we're in, let's go. So, I mean, it works out perfectly. Finally get to see the school.
What's important to you about Sooner Summit? What's it mean for you to be here and interacting with these guys?
I mean, really meet the teammates. I mean, those are going to be your brothers. I mean, that's your family pretty much. So, I mean, just develop that relationship now before you start next year.
You've met Caleb's dad, mom. Have you met him before, or was this the?
This is the first time meeting him, and they're great people. I mean, it's hard to set this all up now. I can only imagine, and just taking the time and really go the extra mile in recruiting, that's awesome.
They're doing dinner. They're arranging for you guys to hang out, play football. Tell me about some of the plans.
We're going to Topgolf actually after this. So I mean, it's just kicks you off the swing a little bit, but I mean, it's awesome. Just doing so much for the guys, just like meet each other and just build that brotherhood.
They're moving here.
Yeah.
Their family, the mom and dad, are moving here. Carl and Dana are going to be living in Norman, Oklahoma, or Oklahoma City, whatever. What does that mean to you, knowing that they're establishing these roots for not just Caleb, but for his classmates?
No, I mean, it's awesome. I mean, I'm not surprised. That's the first time hearing about it, but they seem like the family that's going to do that. Just they're all in. They fully support Caleb. I mean, it's awesome because Caleb's always going to be there. You're always going to have that family kind of. That's the quarterback, someone to look up to, rely on.
Tell me about trying to train during a pandemic. I'm an old guy, and this has never happened in my lifetime. I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of players, unfortunate enough, didn't have a weight room to go to, didn't have a gym or whatever. But actually, my neighbor had a full weight room I was able to use every day. So I didn't kind of use that as an advantage because other kids weren't working out, and I was lifting every single day. So it was a blessing.
So you were able to stay fit, but you can't you can't do tackling. You can't have spring football. You can't hang out with your classmates in school.
Yeah, it was kind of, there's some negative aspects to that with the train. I mean, missing my senior year of spring ball, and now I'm missing some games potentially. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah,
that's my next question was what's the latest for your high school football season?
They actually decided, we're already scheduled for September 4th to our first game. And we're doing a little, kind of like a little bubble of the private schools. It's called the Pac-8. And it's going to be all the teams that have similar restrictions. So we know it's going to be safer for COVID. And so we can actually play finally.
You guys taking tests, the COVID-19 test?
Just a negative test before, and then we're trying to limit breaks by social distancing and having masks on all the time. So.
Wow. Isn't it weird?
it's
Don't
so
you just want to play football and hang out with your friends?
It's terrible. You're running drills and you take off the mask for a second, you have coach yelling at you why is the mask off? But I mean, it's what you got to do to play football now.
Have you had trouble breathing, catching your breath?
Yeah.
Fogging up like my glasses, for instance.
It's just a little, sometimes catching breath. I mean, you kind of got to slip it off sometimes after a rep to get some extra air, but I mean, it's the sacrifice now.
Yeah. And then the recruiting part, the virtual thing I'm sure was cool, but you're not getting quote unquote wine and dined like the 2019 class did, like probably the 2022 class will. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's awful, but I think hopefully officials visits open back up. I'm not sure about anything, but there's still a chance. But I mean, you just try to make the best of it.
Yeah, bad timing on your part, basically.
Yeah.
That sucks. Tell me about your relationship with the OU coaches and how it kind of started and what it's kind of grown into over the past few months.
I think it first started about probably in March, and then kind of just saw on Twitter like Coach Odom followed you. I was like, all right, that's neat, like he's another coach, but nothing really happened after that. And then after the Under Armour All-American camp, I kind of I think I performed well, and then like a few days after watching the tape and everything, Coach Odom was like, "Can we get on the phone?" And that's really when we started building that connection. And then from there, he offered me, and then really talked to all of their coaches. And now we're at the point where I'm talking to Coach Odom every day, getting on Zoom calls with all the coaches, and talking to Coach Riley, and then it's awesome.
Yeah, well, describe what that's like. Zoom calls constantly.
Yeah, I mean it's different. I mean, but it's cool at the same time because you're talking to all the coaches, and then they're checking in. They want to say out to the parents. So I mean, it's different. It's unique, but I mean, you just gotta make the best of it.
Brian Odom, by the way, don't let anybody tell you. He and I went to the same high school.
Really?
Yeah, not at the same time, obviously, but he was an unbelievable running back.
No, I've seen the highlights.
Oh my God.
I've seen the highlights.
He was.
He held many records. He had like 55 touchdowns this senior year or something crazy like that.
He was unbelievable. I'm like, where was this guy when I was playing? You know, we could have used a workhorse like that in our backfield.
Oh, trust me, I've seen the highlights, man.
The trust and connection and communication that you have with the OU coaching staff, is that hard to build?
I think so.
You're in Florida and you're doing everything by Zoom? Or
Yeah.
how does that work?
I mean, it's different. I mean, because they haven't actually seen me in person yet, which is kind of crazy to think about. But I mean, they put the faith into me that I'm the player they see themselves needing, the player they trust their defense with, that middle linebacker. So I mean, that trust goes both ways.
What's your why? What's your reason? What's the most important things to you when you pick a college and you look at 2 years down the road, 5 years down the road, 20 years down the road as a career, whether it's your parents or your future children or whatever it is? What's your why? What drives you?
I mean, really, it's going to give me the best chance to play at the next level. What's going to give me the NFL? What's going to give me the best degree so I can further myself in education? Really, I'm going to major in business, so it can give me the best education at the same time providing the best football experience.
What are you going to do with the business degree?
I'm going to get a business degree in entrepreneurship and then study under my dad and then hopefully take over the family business.
Okay. What kind of business?
He does commercial painting.
Commercial painting. So commercial painting and your dad's business is kind of your why at some point, right?
Yeah.
It's at some level.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Why is that? Have you helped him before?
I do some work here and there. I go to job sites, pick up, put some bricks down, just lay it. Pretty beginner stuff, but hopefully work my way up and try to put my foot in that door.
You want to own the business?
That'd be nice.
That'd be big time.
Yeah, but I can't do it without a degree.